See, statistical models can be used to determine the dynamics of COVID infection and all that goes. It's based on a detection ratio. For example, yesterday I heard your health minister, your state health ministers claim that your detection ratio is about 1 to 6 kind of thing. In other words, for every case that you detect, there might be another 6 more, 5 more that is not detected. So you're assuming there is 1 to 6 kind of ratio. So, but definitely in the north, like she said, obviously the cases, North India, it might be 1 to 50 to 1 to 100 for all you know. Who God only knows. Then they may be intentionally underreporting. This is a problem of underreporting, whether it's willful or otherwise. Now, the significance of case detection ratio is kind of important. You need to know that ratio, otherwise you won't know how to compute this in a mathematical modeling. Okay, and using that modeling and having a nice feel of what it is, and even the underreported is how you can expect where it is going, and then you can compute certain things and what to do and what not to do. So that you must know. So detection ratio is one issue. Okay, now these are typical samples and based on which this is done in Germany, so it may not be relevant to your case, because in those cases the detection ratio is kind of it's a small number difference, delta, 1 to 3 and that kind of thing. So the assumption is like that, and when it turns out to be, you will know, whatever you make the assumption, you will know over time whether your assumption is right. So if in a country or a place where they are very hard pressed to underreport or don't want to report, then the game is different. So let's not talk about it. So these are some of the mathematical models you can walk through using a data from Germany. All right, you can walk through it slowly, stop the screen and walk through if you want to. I know, and this slide will explain how those four plots are shown, and then explain how it is. And actually, based on a date, the detection ratio is only 2.5, and assuming each of the cases, assuming the 40%, which means another 60% outlying, so you're only detecting only 40% outstanding and only 10% outstanding, and so on. So there are different scenarios, and you paint all those scenarios and then test it out and see whether that is correct. So leave that alone. That is Germany, so that's a totally different ball game. And okay, then I was just explaining this. The same may not be in Kerala, absolutely not for the rest of RSS control, BJP control India, that's for sure. The end result is not what it looks like now. Okay, so the end result, if you underreport and you don't have a clue like in the north, sooner or later you're totally out of whack. Come December, come the next winter, as the cold months set in, you will see how bad it can get in the North India. If they were underreporting, you will really know. Okay, so let's leave it alone. So we know what happened in early January this year. Modi was claiming that he has tamed COVID-19 and was boasting away. And long before that, some chief ministers here and there say he's supporting chief ministers all were, blowing his trumpet. You know how that ended up. So many people think Kerala was doing well at that point in time. But then I don't know whether they did it on purpose. Come the election, your super spreader events in when was the election months? Oh, that was in April, May, and all the kind of things. I think around that time. That is prior to that. So you had what do you call canvassing and all that. So those are all super spreader events. So those all led to what you have now. So you are actually paying the price for all the nonsense. Right? Actually, because Delta variant was already in India, Okay, here we go. Yeah, Modi like a big hero. Like a big hero is, what unfolded in India was a devastating carnage. These are all what the international press has indicated. And you can find these articles and look at it yourself if you want to. Okay? Thanks to Modi, India had a state-orchestrated COVID massacre. That's how the international world news explains this. Modi fiddled while India burns. Failed government messaging created India's COVID-19 apocalypse. Alright, now here's a set of cartoons which the Modi government, RSS, got very pissed off. An anonymous artist is chronicling the pandemic politics as Modi's India, one comic at a time. So you can walk through this, see bad data, it's all cyclic, If you give bad data, then you will end up with faulty projections, miscalculated resources, and then more deaths. They all get panicky. Again, they will intentionally create propagators to hide the data. So this is very cyclic. Alright, so nothing very, and these cartoons were known as, because they didn't want to put a name, they simply call it the pen, pencil, draw. Alright? What they said it and when they said it. So there's a time scale. This is 2021. Prime Minister declares India has saved the world from disaster. Alright? India is a savior. India has already conquered everything. India knows everything. And is willing to share and all that. He was boasting away. Until sometime he had to beg for vaccines and everything. And all the monkeys below him. And see whether the COVID was going. Let no one unduly support him. Of course, I thought he was a nice guy and all that kind of thing. But it is when a crisis hits and how to handle that is when you know what leaders are made of. This is a pretty nice game to play, and it's kind of fun, when you take a nice look at it. You can stop this, scroll the screen back, print this and play this game if you want to. It's a Ludo kind of style. It's something funny. This is the rest set of cartoons. That was also a comic game by itself, the Ludo game. So there you have it. I will let you have fun with it. I truly hope that India would pull off correctly at the right time. And given what has happened to China and China created the virus, if India holds it back and had controlled it, India would have had the chance to become the manufacturing hub. And now, since it has shown that how crappy it is, I don't think it has a chance.